it working? Oh. Hey guys, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics here, back today with a special guest, and we're here to talk about the recent news, the massive news yesterday that broke around Shaun Johnson returning to the Warriors for the 2022 season. He signed on for 2 years, and joining me today is Brad Inger, who's kind enough to join me today. So, Brad, why don't you introduce what you do and and your thoughts around the Shaun Johnson news as well. So,
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm Brad. I'm a fan writer of the Warriors in New Zealand. Have a Facebook page called Inger's League Wrap Up, and been doing it for about 4 or 5 years, just writing about the Warriors games and whatever sees fit. And yeah, really looking forward to talking about Shaun today.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So, if you guys haven't seen his stuff already, go check him out. Go check out his website as well. I'll put a link in the description down below, so go check that out. And he also does a weekly live show called The Standoff. It's run on the New Sports Radio page. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, show called The Standoff on New Zealand Sport Radio. So we air live 8 p.m. every Wednesday in New Zealand, just talking about NRL and league in general. So yeah, that's really good too, if you want to check that out.
All right, so let's get into it. So look, the news yesterday was broken around Shaun Johnson, and it was a bit of a surprise. It came out of nowhere, and he just the Warriors announced it on their website. It was around about 10 o'clock here, Australia time, when I heard the news. And I did a video talk as well, so if you haven't seen it already, go check that back out. But what's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on the return of Shaun Johnson for the 2022 NRL season? He signed on for 2 years, as I should know already, 2-year contract. So he's coming back to Mount Smart. He's a former Warrior himself. He's played a lot of first grade games for us, but he's had a couple of years at Cronulla, and he's been on the sideline for a bit. He's been injured a lot. So what's your thoughts on it, Brad?
Yeah, well, as you said, quite a surprise. It was midday for us over here, and did not see it coming. And before the news, I wasn't too keen, because I thought we were going to be paying 800,000-900,000 for Shaun, and I didn't want to spend that much money on him. But hearing it, a 450 a year deal, I was actually quite surprised how happy I was when I got the email from the club. And very, very excited at what it potentially could be for the Warriors next year. The team's really starting to look quite good.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I was just surprised but with Shaun Johnson coming to the club next year, do you see Cody Nikorima hanging around? Do you see him hanging around next season? I mean, look, I don't see him hanging around personally. I think we'll go, but what are your thoughts on whether you think Cody should be hanging around or be hanging around?
I think he'll be gone. I've heard a lot of rumors that he's potentially going to end up at the Titans, but I think the moment they announced Shaun, I think it kind of sealed his fate, unless he wants to stick around and be a dummy half or a number 14. That's really where he's best at, in my opinion. But I think he still wants to be a half. And it looks like the Titans are really the only ones that could potentially bring him in.
Yeah, just I've got some comments here from some viewers, and who's this? He says he'll stay, boys. He reckons he'll stay. Stephen says hi. How's it going, Stephen? So, yeah, Cody Nicaragua go. I said, man, I don't see any reason for him to stay around if he's, not going to get a spot in the team. And I mean, pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with the Shaun Johnson news. I'm pretty happy that he's back. I had mixed views on it at the start. I personally didn't think I wanted him back, but thinking about it strongly here, I think great to have Shaun Johnson back at the club. He's an experienced player. It's what we need in the halves. He's definitely what we need in the halves. So, yeah, I mean, right now, I reckon the team's looking good. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, like our recruitment. I think our recruitment's been a lot better in the last couple of years than it was in the past, actually. I think our recruitment's been a lot better. Adam Fanua-Blake was signed DWZ as well recently too, DWZ and Chad Townsend's a mid-season signing. So, yeah, I don't know what your thoughts on it. The recruitment, how our recruitment's going in the.
Yeah, I've been quite happy with it. I think Reece Walsh is kind of a shining light in the recruitment because he wasn't a known commodity before he came here, but they saw enough in him to lure him over here, and he's kind of showing how great he's going to be. And I was quite upset when Roger announced that he was leaving early, but with Roger leaving, they've managed to bring in Walsh, DWZ, Shaun Johnson. You got two known players and now a superstar to be to replace one legend of the game. So as sad as it is to see Roger go, it's a hell of a lot of players to bring in to replace him.
Yes. Hold the ball. Hey guys, the Walshy Shaun Johnson combo. Gus has done well for us. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I reckon that's going to be a pretty combination. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. Actually, Shaun Johnson and Reece Walsh, and Shaun Johnson's got a lot of high praise for Reece Walsh. Actually, he said some stuff there on Reece Walsh on one of the radio interviews. You guys haven't seen already, go check that out. I think it's The Rock, is it? The Rock. I'm pretty sure it's The Rock or something.
Yeah, it was The Rock.
But
yeah,
I watched it on YouTube. Yeah, The Rock. Yeah. So I reckon the Reece Walsh Shaun Johnson combination, that'll be very interesting. Actually, it'll be very, very interesting. Just going through some of the comments. Dr. Oh, where'd that comment go? That just disappeared. Oh, there we go. Dr. Kiwi says, how do you think the Johnson and Walsh at fullback combo will work? He asked how it will work. How do you think it will go?
I think we're going to see, similar to what Shaun's been doing at the Sharks, he kind of dominates the right side. So I think he's going to stay on the right. I think Chanel's going to be on the left, and you're going to have Walsh just has the free reign that he has now, where he kind of inserts himself into the attacking line where he sees fit. And I think that's going to be great for your young players like Katoa, who generally sit on the right side as well. I think you could see Katoa get to that level that we see Nakora at the Sharks right now, where he just pairs up with Shaun nicely and benefits a lot. And I think it's going to be like that. I don't see Shaun dominating both sides of the field. I think they're going to stick to a left-right scenario.
Yeah, Renee Coffrey says here, Walsh fullback, Johnny 7, is it Johnny? Johnny 7, Cody 6. What's your thoughts on that comment?
I wouldn't mind that, but I just don't see Cody staying. Cody and Johnson have worked well together for the Kiwis, and so that could work again. But yeah, I just don't think that Cody's going to be there next year. So.
Yeah, and hold the ball. Ask thoughts on Cody Nicarima.
I like Cody. I just don't think he's a half. I think he's a better dummy half, and he is never going to be a dominant half, so he's not going to be the guy that can lead your team around the park. He's more the X factor player on the side. So unless you have that dominant half with him, he kind of gets left out, which we've kind of seen this year. He's kind of been relied on to be that leading half, and it's not working.
Yeah. Katoa's building nicely. Needs a fine-tuned game, but it's getting there. Agreed. He's asking if we agree with that comment.
Yeah, I do. I think Katoa is going well. He's been a bit iffy this year, but he's still so inexperienced. So he's still learning the game, and I think once he gets into that groove, he's going to be a handy second rower for the club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he's had a quiet year, Katoa, from his standards, because I think he had a pretty decent year last year. But he's only young, so he's got plenty of time to build and for his game. So yeah. So if you've got any last couple of things to talk about, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'll throw a question your way then. So with these signings now, how would you set up the back line for next year?
Look, I think we're going to go with fullback Reece Walsh. I'd have Dylan Wichini-Zelezniak on the wing actually, and the centre pairing is quite interesting. It's actually to think about, but I think they'll go with Ewan Aiken in the centres. Trying to think here. Look, I think they'll go with probably Adam Pompey in the centres. I'll probably go with Adam Pompey. I'm not too sure. You could either go with Rocco Berry as well. Put Rocco Berry in the centres. I'm a big fan of Rocco. I reckon he can do a good job, but I think they'll go with Adam Pompey. I don't think they'll throw young Rocco Berry in the centres just yet. But that would be my centre pairing. And the other wing position. Now I think, look, they've got Dylan Wichini-Zelezniak. They've got who else actually? Who else I think I can put? They
got Fuss is still there. I think.
Yeah, Fuss is still there. Yeah. Yeah, I think Fusitu'a will probably still hang around the club. So, yeah, I think probably Fusitu'a on the wing. So, yeah, that would be my backline. What would your backline be?
Mine's pretty much exactly the same, except I'm backing Rocco all the way, and having either Fuss or Pompey on the wing, depending on how Fuss's situation goes. I think with Shaun coming back, Fuss will probably be more interested to be there and play football because his partnership with Shaun was always so good. But yeah, basically the same backline.
Yep. Hold the ball. Ask here. Thoughts on Matt Lodge rumors?
Do you want me to take this first?
Yeah, you go ahead first.
Okay, so I talked about it a bit on my show this week. I don't, depending on the price, I don't mind it. I think personal problems with him aside, with his off the field stuff, he's kind of cleaned his act up a little bit, but he's a very good forward. He's playing 60, 70 minutes a game. He's always going over 100 meters. And I think if you could get him at the right price point, he'd be a good front rower to join Fanua Blake. And yeah, it's just getting over that hurdle of the stigma of his past. I think will be the biggest thing for fans to adjust to if he did come. But yeah, I'm generally happy with any player coming as long as the price is right.
Look, I'm personally not a fan of him. I've got a strong opinion that what he's done in the past is still and a player on the field. I don't really like him, but if the Warriors are signing him on a cheap deal. As long as it's not for a lot of money, then it's really understandable, because I think 4-pack needs a little bit more of a boost. I think it's not the greatest 4-pack right now. So him and Fanua Blake and Ben Murdoch-Masila, that'll be a pretty strong combination, actually. I think that'll be a strong combination. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the Matt Lodge rumours. So, yeah, obviously it probably could happen, because, he's got, Peter O'Sullivan there, knows a bit of recruitment manager there. He's got a family. I think he's believed it's some sort of family sort of thing going on there, or some sort of
it's a
relation
Peter's
or
his
something,
father-in-law.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see it happen. I can definitely see it happening. Yeah. Yeah, so look, Dr. Kiwi asked here, what other signs do we need to work on? Also, more for Cody to go ASAP.
I think for me, I think the biggest weakness they've had is hooker. I think they still need a hooker. Wade Egan can show in pieces that he can do.
Yep.
He can do the job, but not enough for me to be confident in him. I think Otokolo is going to be the future there, but he's still too young to throw all that pressure on to be your starting. So I think if they could get a hooker from somewhere, we've seen this year that contracts don't mean much. So you could probably get one that's on contract somewhere. That's what I'd be looking at.
Yep. So, yeah, cool stuff here. Says, congrats on the 600 subs. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thoughts on where the Warriors will finish this year? So, yeah, starting off with you, where do you think we'll finish this year? Like, going off this year's form so far?
If they keep going the way they're going, I think they'll end up like anywhere between 9th and 11th. But I still think they can make the 8. They've just got to start getting some wins now. They've let so many slip. If they keep letting them slip, that middle is so tight that you can easily go from being in the running to completely on the outer. So as a Warriors fan, I'm still quietly confident they'll make the 8. But if they don't perform against the Dragons, I think you could probably rule them out.
Yep. I think, right now, I do hope we make the end of the year, but right now I'm not too sure. I'm not too confident. We need to be beating the Dragons next week if we start making a charge for that top 8 spot. Actually, I think that's what we need to be doing. We need to be, we haven't won back-to-back games this year. I believe that's been a bit of a struggle for us, winning back-to-back games, more than one game. So yeah, I reckon we can make the 8, but I'm not sure right now. I'm not sure, but we will see. If we can string some wins together, then it's definitely possible at the end of the year. It's definitely possible, but yeah, I mean, counting. So yeah, do you see Chad Townsend? I know this is a bit off talks here, but do you think Chad Townsend will start next week?
Yeah, I expect him to slot straight in for Shaun O'Sullivan.
Yep. Dr. Kiwi says, Tanoa just doesn't make any ground with the ball, but defending is okay. Is he worth keeping?
I think so. I think he's another one in that Katoa category where they had a real strong year last year, but they're still really young. I think he's kind of having that second year syndrome that you kind of see where he's just not living up to what he did last year, but I expect him to bounce back. He's still learning so much, and with guys like Fanua Blake there leading the way, I think you can see him become quite a handy little footballer. He's just got to get through this hump.
Yeah, Mikey says, do you think Dustin for Shaun Johnson's return?
I don't think so. To be honest, I think it's his kid. I think he wanted to bring his baby home. His family still lives here. His wife's family still live here. I think he really just wanted to bring them home, and that's why we heard months ago that his manager approached the club about him coming back. So I think it's more that home factor. But having a guy like Gould in your club doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree there because I think it's more to do with his family and him being back in New Zealand. Because probably that's where all his family are in New Zealand. There's not really any of his family in Australia. So that's what I believe. Actually, that's what I believe. He wants to come back. Because of family here and family in New Zealand. Yeah, it's going to be very very interesting to see how he goes. Actually, I'm very looking forward to it. So, yeah, I reckon that's the main family. He was so surprised. He was so surprised, when he got that, text message. He was having lunch with the Mad Bull there yesterday. He was very surprised. Actually, he didn't expect it. He didn't expect to, get that news that it was going to sign with the Warriors, and it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think the Warriors just started to realize what all of us fans have been saying, that they wanted a half, and there weren't a lot of halves out there that were better or even on the same level as Shaun. So Shaun was the obvious pick to go for. And yeah, it's just good that they decided that, because they were still looking at Widdop, and Widdop would have been, anywhere between 800 and $1 million a year. Plus, they would have had to pay Warrington a release fee as well. So it would have been too expensive for a guy his age. And he didn't really want to come to New Zealand anyway. So you've got a guy like Shaun that's willing to come back to New Zealand and come a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it all makes sense, to be fair. It all makes sense because Shaun Johnson, he's a Kiwi, proud and bored Kiwi, and just to come home and put on that Warriors jersey again, which he still has a love for the club. Actually, still, the way he talks about the club, he still has a love for the club despite that very ugly exit. I thought it was a very ugly exit. To be fair, I didn't think the club handled that pretty well. I think they made a bit of a mistake there, in my opinion. So yeah, man, look, it looks like he's burned the bridges with the Warriors now. Burned the bridges with the CEO. I think I'm pretty sure he had a bit of a messing and falling out with the Cameron George from previous talks. But yeah, I hope he comes back and can help us deliver some wins and get us to top 8 contention every year. So that's the reason why they brought him back, because he's an experienced half, and yeah, he knows the Warriors well. So yeah, question here from Dr. Keeley asks, do we have any idea how much DWZ and Shaun Johnson are getting paid?
Well, Shaun's getting $450 a year for the 2 years, and Dallin, I think, is on 800, but the Warriors are paying 400 because the Bulldogs are paying 400 of it as part of the deal.
Oh yeah.
So, and I don't know what the final year of Dallin's contract is, because he's still contracted with the Bulldogs for 2 years. So they're paying the next season, this season and next season, but the following year is all the Warriors. So I don't know if that's at a lower price or not.
Yeah, Holdable asks, do you think DWZ can write his career with us?
I think so. I know there's been a lot of criticism thrown his way due to how he's been playing, but I've always got that little asterisk next to it because he's been playing for the Bulldogs, and it's very hard to look good in the Bulldogs right now. So I think if I always like to give players the benefit of the doubt when they join the club. There's been a few that have come that I haven't agreed with the signing, but you've got to give them a chance to run out there in a Warriors jersey before you write them off. So he'll get his chance. He'll be playing against the Dragons. But yeah, I think he'll do well, and he's coming as a winger. So
yep. I reckon, I've given him a chance, but I wasn't too sold on it at the start. But no, you got to give him a chance before you criticize him. And yeah, it's not easy when you got to play for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are a team that's been struggling for years and years. His best year, I reckon, was at Penrith. Actually, his best year. That was when he was at the Panthers. So, the Bulldogs. I don't watch too many Bulldogs games, but he's not. The Bulldogs don't want him, so that might be the main reason. He's not found his form there, or the club's looking at another direction. I do hope he goes well. Dylan Watini-Zelezniak, he can be a very good player. Actually, he's a captain for the New Zealand team, the national team. So there's no reason why he can not deliver on a good performance when he's at the club. So Hold the Ball says Shaun Johnson mentioned a few names that wanted him: Gus, Harris, RTS, and Robinson, but left out Cameron George, forwards.
Yeah, I think that breakdown between player and club was basically between Shaun and Cameron. I can't speak with any knowledge on it because I'm neither of the guys. I've spoken to Cameron a few times, but never about this. But yeah, I always got the feeling that there was just a breakdown between those two. And at least it looks like now that Cameron's put his own personal issues with him aside by the looks of things, because he seems to be okay with the decision. And the fact that Robinson is the guy that wants him, Robinson owns the club. So I think if you push the owner of the club that you're not going to sign a player he wants, you'll probably find yourself without a job. So yeah, I think that was the main reason. I think him and George just didn't get on anymore. And but yeah, we'll get to see if they come back to getting along or not next year, I guess.
Yeah. No, there's not many. Okay, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I do think with that situation in the past that Shaun Johnson looks like it's all fine now because obviously he wants to be at the Warriors, come back to the club and do well. So yeah, I can't comment too much on that situation from the past, but hopefully it's now. Hopefully there's the club and the player can sort that out, have a good relationship there, because that's important moving forward. That's really important moving in the right direction. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. I think most of the CEOs for NRL clubs you don't hear a lot from. Cameron is quite out in front, and that's good and bad. Sometimes it takes he gets too much attention sometimes for things he says, but he's the only CEO of a NRL club that's had to go through what the Warriors have had to go through. So he's out there trying to keep the attention on the Warriors because they got so many struggles. They're not getting home games. I think it'd be a very stressful job to be in right now. And I'm sure the moment they get to come back to New Zealand and play against the Bulldogs, be a huge weight off his shoulders.
Yeah, and I thought he was going to go to the Bulldogs too. I thought, look, I don't know if he would want to come back after all that, after what the club's done in the past to him. And I thought, when he talked about the Warriors highly, and it shows that he's still got a love for that jersey, for the love for the club. He grew up playing. And yeah, I just was surprised by it all, how it happened, how it all happened in the end. So yeah, you got any last words, things to talk about, before we wrap it up?
Not really, just that times are tough right now as a Warriors fan, but I've still got hope that they're going to turn things around, and I'm really excited to see what Chad brings for the rest of this year. I think he could do some good things for us.
Yep, I do hope so. I do really hope so. Obviously, he's got a bit of history at the Warriors. He played for us a few games, I believe. So yeah, I mean, that'll be very interesting. I think we will see Chad Townsend playing the halves the rest of the year. I think that's the way they'll go. I'm not sure what to do with Cody, or whether they're going to have Cody and him in the halves, or I think that's probably the way they'll go. I don't know if O'Sullivan will get back in the lineup next year. I don't think he will get back into the team this year after the signing of Chad Townsend. But I'd just like to thank Brad for coming on. Really appreciate it for him to take his time out and come on and have a chat about this news regards to Shaun Johnson and some other stuff as well, regards to players. And the club's heading in the right direction, I believe. Actually, I reckon it's heading in the right direction. We've all got to be patient. Warriors fans have got to be patient. It's going to take time, and I know it's hard to be patient because it's been a frustrating last couple of years. Not consistent and all that, but I think we're heading in the right direction. Personally, I just can't wait for next year, but also this not finished yet. So, we still got games to go at the end of the season. We can run at it. It's just about consistency and winning back-to-back games and getting on a winning streak to push for that top 8 spot. But yeah, thanks to Brad for coming on. Any last a couple of things to say, or?
No, just thank you for having me on. And if any of you out there are interested in reading my stuff, go have a look on Facebook and let me know what you think.
Yep. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in this morning. Make sure you also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like the video as well. And thanks everyone for tuning in and watching this live discussion in regards to Shaun Johnson joining the club next year, and also about new players joining the club, and all the other stuff. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good rest of the weekend. Have a good Saturday afternoon, morning, wherever it is, wherever you are. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.